Love is what we all most need, and in many cases, it's what we most want. Yet, there doesn't seem to be enough of it in the world. Perhaps it's because everybody craves for it, and there are too few to give it. Or maybe we don't really know what love is, apart from the fact that it makes us feel good. In fact, it makes us feel so good that we're even willing to buy it, often with actual money. But even more often, with such a bad copy of fidelity that ends up looking more like submission, which leads to living the life we really wanted for ourselves. This is not love. It's called charity. Until we consider love as a feeling that's all about receiving pleasure, it will always be only a drug that we just can't do without. Not only will we become slaves to it, but it will always be up to somebody else to decide if, when, and why we will receive love. This is not life. It's what comes closest to hell. What we feel as love inside ourselves is just an emotional state that's being triggered by simple biochemical reactions that respond to external or internal stimuli. Where such stimuli fail to be, the very feeling of love just vanishes as we have no control over it, ending up blaming others for having stopped providing us those stimuli. Real love is not a feeling, but a state of connection that's got nothing to do with what comes from the outside. It doesn't depend on what happens out there, but on our individual and free decision to be connected with someone else. Love is therefore a choice, not something that is being poured onto us and to which we just respond. This means that it is solely up to us if, when, and at which conditions to love, not anyone else. And because loving makes us feel so good, why should we stop doing it? Because someone else decides not to love us back? If that's the case, it's never been love in the first place. It was just an exchange. This conditional love that we are commonly acquainted with is analogical. We can love very little, a bit, so-and-so, enough, a lot, greatly, even to death. The love that is totally up to us to feel, however, which derives from a state of connection, is digital. It's just on-off, no gradation in between. You either love or you don't. And if you do love, it's totally free and unconditional. When we're in a situation where we can decide whom to be loved by beforehand, in which way, to what extent, for how long, with which expectations, we're building quite a miserable life for ourselves. You can object that in order to love, you need to be loved in turn. And if you decide to give love, you must get lots of it. True. But love is everywhere. It's just that we are too much focused on receiving it, which is why we don't see it. To be in a state of connection is like being a lamp that's connected to a socket. The light bulb lights up and stays on as long as there is electricity. It's the same with us. When we connect to this energy that's all around us, that we call love, and which is infinite, we no longer need to go and look for it somewhere else. And this is what sets us free from those who decide whether to give us back their love or not. The real question then is not, where should I look for and take the love that I should give them back? But, how willing am I to put myself on the line completely and to connect myself without reservations to that infinite reservoir of love in which I'm immersed? This is one bet that you can only win, unlike the alternative, which is a loser from the start. And can we even call it a bet?